Let's talk about the power of Google. That's one of the things, and we're going to get into lots of other topics, but to me, I find them to be an increasingly dangerous company. I think so. I think advertisers today, the Newspaper Association came out against the Google thing. I make a joke that, you know, in 2012, Google's going to become self-aware and start killing future leaders of the human race. You know, they make me nervous.
It's already happening.
It's already happening. And, you know, I live with someone from Google. I'm particularly nervous.
Really?
Yes.
You have a connection?
Yes, I do, but frightens me too. So, on many levels. But what's interesting is most of them that I know relatively well, they seem very benign. They think they're benign. They act like, why do people think we're bullied? And it's just, you know, no, they don't have any concept, just because they're not thuggish necessarily, that they're not dangerous. I find them to be scarier and scarier as time goes on for the internet and for innovation.
Yeah, I'm not scared of them.
Right.
And
it's because they're all soft and fruity, and you know the lava.
No, but I do think you're getting at an interesting point, which I think it's just a facet of human nature. They're probably, aren't they approaching about a 70% share? They're not quite at 70, but they're moving toward it. 70% share of search, and I think when any human organization, and this includes Microsoft in operating systems, I think it includes Apple in music, I think and music, you know, players. I think Google is getting toward that territory in search. You become a near monopoly, and you begin to behave differently. And I just think it's a facet of human nature. It isn't because the people are bad people, but I just think the organization begins to try to preserve its ground in a way that, and with a set of tools that it didn't have before.
But when they have this advertising hold, if cloud computing does reach its height, the situation of the hypeness, you know, I mean, everyone's going to have to keep, you know, sleep with one eye open, hoping that we're not going to be replaced by a pod someday, you know, kind of thing. It's just, I mean,
Did you have a bad dream?
No, I didn't. I just feel as if, you know, that if you were an advertiser today, or you're being searched, or you're a business, and you rely on them, fine, if they get 70%, and in Europe it's what, 99% of them, or something like that. I mean, at some point, I don't know if the government should step in, or if that's going to, I doubt that will happen on some level with either administration, but it still is, to me, it's something that everybody has to mean. Newspapers, anyone that wants to get information.
Well, anytime one company controls as large a share of something as they are approaching,
right.
I imagine it's a moment for concern. But Microsoft isn't out of money, and they're not out of power, and they're not out of options.
Right.
And IE8 is a good product, and their advantage, of course, which is as old as the hills, has been discussed at this and other conferences forever, is, I mean, I'll tell you what, I'll quote the anchor on one of the television shows I did when I was being interviewed about Chrome. She said, well, I just click on that big blue E on the computer, you know, and my kids do too. Why would I want to download something else?
Right. And
I mean, that's an enormous advantage for Microsoft.
Sure. Well, that's great. We have the choice between Voldemort and the Terminator. I just wish there was more, you know. Anyway.
Well, there are some unicorns starting a browser.
Really? Well, that would be nice. Yeah.